No, she has a binder. She had a binder, I'll say. Because I I I love Persona 4, but every time talking about it feels like I'm stepping into like several landmines, and it's worse because I know that I'm right. Um, but oh my god. But because I did her S-Link, and like I've thought about it for like generally a very long time to like properly understand things. Um, the two largest misconceptions when it comes to Persona 4, which is always impossible to not talk about, which is why the next 10 years are going to be really fun when that's back, is a lot of people very heavily misinterpret one, kanji as gay, and two, oh my god, and two, Naoto as trans. And not for nothing, it's because the shadows make it very confusing on purpose. Like, very intentionally, especially with the things that the shadow are saying. But again, oh my god, I hate fighting Yukari. I hate fighting Yukari. Because I can't use my range options against her or Yukiko because they're just much better. The two largest misconceptions in Persona 4 fandom, or at least people talking about Persona 4, is that Kanji is gay or that Naoto is trans. The shadows make that very confusing on purpose. You cannot take what the shadows say at face value. They are bold embellishments of pieces of those characters that are true. Punishing evil from her lonely throne. Kanji bare minimum is bi. Like that, I think that's not debatable at all. The reason why a lot of people very often misinterpret Kanji as being gay is because of his attraction to Naoto. And Naoto presenting the way that she does for a majority of the game really doesn't help that. Because, so that's why I really... It's because her... Because I don't want you to be disappointed, so it's like I want to like better align the things. It's not like she's no. Her thing is not with oh my god, with gender norms. It's more so the expectations of a woman in her specific occupation. Naoto's bigger issue is with misogyny than it is gender traditions. Kanji's sexuality gets slightly impacted because of that. Kanji's thing is more about him embracing his more softer and effeminate side. Yosuke, I want to strangle him. Like, Kanji's big thing is embracing more of his feminine side, despite the fact that, like, no, he is a very rough and tumble type of guy who is very masculine. No, he fights biker gangs and wins. I know that. I know that. I know how big that goddamn hitbox is. Because he likes sewing, he likes knitting, he lives with his grandmother who he really, like, respects. He likes working at that textile shop. So, like, the shadow takes that softer part of him and his confusion around Naoto and his feelings for Naoto, and it twists that against him. So, like, it makes him very insecure. the shadow is embellishing his feminine side. Parasol looks so cool. It's embellishing his more effeminate side. To the point where, like, no, it mocks him for, like, being softer. And, like, if you're a soft guy, that means that you're gay, and if you're gay, then you can't be really a manly man. That's his shadow's entire deal. Naoto's thing is an extreme reaction to essentially workplace misogyny in Japan. Oh my god. Where, like, where she isn't really respected in the field that, no, she cares a lot for. And they won't take her seriously because she's a girl. So that's why she presents as masculine. It's not because she has those feelings, oh my god. It's not because she has those feelings, it's because she's... No, she doesn't want to be muscled out of the thing that, like... that she literally spent most of her life kind of idolizing and wanting to work towards. And I bring that up, not as a, like, oh, everybody's wrong about these characters. I bring it up because, like... Oh my god. Because one, Atlas... They very incidentally ended up stepping into that and making that why... No. I do not need you to use Daiharon. They did not know what they were doing. As in, they did not know that the lines that they were doing, the lines that they were using could be or would be interpreted in that way. Which fed into changes of perspectives and understanding of the characters. Like, that's part of why Persona 4 is so interesting to me and so fun. I'll talk while I go through this. That's why Persona 4 is so interesting and fun to me, because the way that it ends up even presenting itself, and the way that it goes for its own themes, it caused players themselves to fall into the same trappings that the characters are actively escaping from. They're trying to escape these expectations placed upon them by other people who are looking at them and who are seeing these different parts of them, and trying to be themselves. Like, no, they embrace who they are. They're embracing who they are. That's the point of overcoming the shadow. It's not a way of, like, controlling that other part of yourself. It's recognizing those parts of yourself that, like, you might not want to actively recognize. Kanji didn't initially want to recognize the fact that he had those feminine traits. Naoto didn't want to recognize the fact that, like, she was hiding who she was because of how she felt when it came to the job that, like, she admired for so long. Yosuke didn't want to acknowledge his feelings of, like, being trapped in Inaba. Chie didn't want to acknowledge her very petty feelings against Yukiko. Yukiko didn't want to acknowledge how trapped she felt in Inaba working at the inn. Like, what allows the characters to obtain their personas in Persona 4, have to add that, because it changes every time, is that experience and that recognition of those versions of themselves, those parts of themselves that they don't want to recognize. And then after they do recognize those parts of themselves, that's when they're able to be more true to themselves. Like, it's very thematically coherent. That is like another part of it too. I love you with all my heart, Rise. To be fair, I'll let people live on kanji gay and Naoto trans, given how little LGBT representation there was back then. Yeah, that is also like another, like, no, a very important part of that too, where it does say something and it does mean something that so many fans like really latched on to Kanji and Naoto for those different interpretations. And I'm not saying, because I want to like not necessarily, I want to add an asterisk to like everything else that I was saying, because it's not me saying that as in everybody interpreted the characters wrong. I think it says more that Kanji got so accepted by it's the thing, like it's why I am really attached to Rise. Like, no, there's a reason why so many people saw themselves in Kanji and saw that struggle between his more effeminate gay side, or like his confusion about being interested in Naoto, who is presenting his very mask for most of the game. Like, no, he gets to be that. He can be a tough beefcake, a cool guy who can fight biker gangs, but then also still have this very sensitive side of like being able to use knitting to repair like a toy bear. There's a reason why that Shadow Naoto line about not being able to cross the boundary of the sexes really stood out to a lot of trans people. Like, no, I had that experience with Rise when she was talking about those different aspects of herself and not being sure of like who she could really be in the face of so many other people. Like, which part of me is the real me? Is it the me that's in front of the audience, in front of the TV screen? Is it the me that's in front of my family? Is it the me that I'm by myself? Is it the me that I'm in front of my friends? Like, there's a reason why Persona 4 is so special to everybody who like really is into it. It's because these characters are so rich and have these so many different interesting facets. Like, you can find yourself in these characters. You can very easily find yourself and identify with any and each of these characters in various different ways. Not you. And that's what makes people so attached to these characters. That's why I have a Rise keychain. That's why I celebrate her birthday. That's why I love her. Like, no, she means so much to me on a very personal level because of that experience of seeing somebody else suffer through that. Oh, I don't know who others are expecting me to be. What does that mean for me? Is the real me what other people want from me? Or is the real me something that only I want? But then where do I lie between that? And what lies between that is the persona. And that's where it all comes back to the Jungian psychology. That's where it wraps together in the synergy between the self and the shadow, and that gives birth to the persona. And that's why the main protagonist is the fool. That's why he has the ability of the wild card. They have the ability of the wild card, where they're able to switch between multiple characters. They're able to switch their personas to better align and interact with other people who also are going through their own struggles. Rise was a trans allegory for me? No. No, Rise, no, I had a very distinct, it's impossible for me to talk about Persona, and especially Rise, to not get into this. No, the Rise stuff was way before any of those feelings. No, as when I was a little alchemist, no, I felt very saddled with it's similar to how you talk about why you identify as non-binary. Yeah, like, it was a lot of the stuff beforehand where it was that... No, it was a lot of those expectations that were saddled upon me, where how I was in school, how I was with family, how I was with friends, like, it all felt like they were very dissimilar and very separate people, and I couldn't really find, I want to say, the overlap of where really I was. Rise is the main reason why I love Persona 4 especially so much. She's the reason I even replayed the game. Because I got to her S-Link 6, which was when she started talking about, I don't know where the real me is. I don't know what to do because I did like being partly an idol. I do want to be normal. I want to be quote unquote a normal person. I don't want these expectations placed upon me. But also when those expectations are placed upon me, I know that impact and that power that I can have to help people. Like, that's why her resolution like really stuck with me. That realization of there is no single me. There are multiple parts of me, and those multiple parts make up the whole. That's why I really, really like Rise. That's why I got really, I don't want to say defensive, but that's why I got really very sentimental when so many people kept saying like, oh, well, she's the easy one. She's the one who's very attached, like, so easily. She's floozy. That's literally why her title is the scandalous superstar idol. Like, again, those misinterpretations, those almost deliberate mischaracterizations of who she is. Like, no, she is Rise. She's either Rosette, she can be Rise Kujikawa, or she's just like your underclassman. Like, I really identified with that, which is also very funny because another character in Persona 4 who relates to that is Yumi Ozawa, the Sun Arcana if you go for the Drama Club, because in my first playthrough, she was the one who I spent a lot of time with. I did see Hannah Montana, but that was largely before I played Persona 4. So I didn't really... No, none of that really internalized. No, that's... I love Rise for that. And Kanji also really helped me too, of like... embracing more softer, effeminate side. Here's the it's a trans allegory we can very much create, but also societal expectations of who we are supposed to be regardless of our needs and wants. Kanji was huge for me because the concept of masculinity isn't just hyper-testosterone-fueled aggression, but also that ability to care and go beyond what is socially acceptable. Yeah, like, no, that's why Kanji, like, really stood out to so many people. Because he can be that very... Even in the character profile, a young man once feared as a violent punk. Despite his appearance, he's a kind-hearted and skilled knitter. Like, no, it's that, not necessarily contrast, but it's that, those expectations that are placed upon these different characters, and all of them kind of fighting to go through that, fighting to look past, like, those very surface level things. That's why. That's the symbology behind the glasses. The glasses is so that you can look through the fog and see clearly, to actually be able to see through what is presented in front of you, to actually reach out for the truth. That's why Persona means a lot to me. That's why I really like Persona. Like, that's why it's such an important series to me. Speaking of you.
Very well.
And making history. I can't get over that title. That title is ridiculous.